Leads lists, I call them the Band-Aid solution. They're really good for kind of getting into OA and learning everything about it. But the best long-term solution is going to be to develop your own VA team.
And everyone gives you a criteria of like what type of leads you're going to get. And there's usually some sort of like customer support. And to like touch back on, which leads list you should sign up for, talk to your best friend in the game. See what lists they've been on. Take that recommendation to heart. I do believe Alpha Leads Lists is probably one of the best ones.
Don't Google leads list because you're going to get the ones that are at the top that are absolute garbage. Listen to my recommendations and then go check them out. OA Alphas, which is mine, OA Hunt, and OA Leads Pro. These are 3 top tier leads lists. OA Hunt is
Gambay.
Cheers.
Welcome back to the Dough Bois Podcast. I'm your host Logan, joined today by my lovely studly co-hosts Cisco and the one and only Formosa McGill. Today we're back with another Dough Bois only video. Super excited to kick it off. We're going to be discussing a really popular method for finding online arbitrage leads so that you can grow your business. And today we're going to be discussing lead lists. Cisco, what the heck is a leads list and why should somebody use it?
So a leads list is a list that is generated by people or companies, and they basically every single morning, typically Monday through Friday, barring any holidays for the Philippines, because that's typically who's sourcing these leads for the leads list, give you a fresh set of leads that you can source from that will help you get profitable items into your inventory, into your portfolio of items.
Exactly. And a lot of people who are on these leads lists are using them wrong. So our goal today is to provide you some expert advice for really the best ways that you can go about using these lead lists. Whenever I first started getting into online arbitrage, lead lists were absolutely foundational for helping me kind of make that transition from RA into OA. It allowed me to kind of see new sources. So, what websites should I be shopping? What sales should I look out for? How do I find coupon codes? It taught me a lot introductory about the online arbitrage business model and was really, really foundational early on. Cisco, I'm curious your experience with leads lists. At what point in your business did you start trying them out? And do you feel like they're a good, solution for people?
Yeah, I think if you haven't gone to the point where you're have the time or wanting to invest in setting up a your own VA team, then I think a leads list is a great alternative, especially when you're starting out or you're in that range between your first 10,000 to your first 50,000. I think that's a perfect range to use a leads list, and it does a bunch of different things. Leads list, one, is going to open you up to different products that you can sell, and it's going to start expanding your mind to a bunch of things. But that's primarily what I would suggest using a leads list from, is once you've hit your first 10K and you've ungated yourself in a couple of things, because most leads lists aren't going to give you or tell you how to get ungated in X, Y, and Z. You kind of have to have already done that, and then push you up to the next 50,000 until you're ready to start up your own team.
Yeah, absolutely. Leads lists, I call them the Band-Aid solution. They're really good for kind of getting into OA and learning everything about it. But the best long-term solution is going to be to develop your own VA team, bringing things in-house, because then they're going to be sourcing just for you. So they're fine-tuned to your business, and all the leads are going to be exactly what you're looking for. And it's more economical because the price per lead is going to be lower, and that's really how leads lists function. I want to take a quick moment to interrupt the podcast and talk about this video's sponsor, OA Alphas. OA Alphas offers high-quality leads lists to help you grow and scale your online arbitrage business. Whenever I started getting into online arbitrage, leads lists were foundational for helping me understand the OA business and growing my business to its height. OA Alphas allows you to get profitable online arbitrage product leads every single day, Monday through Friday, in exchange for a set monthly fee. If you're looking to grow your online arbitrage business or gain back some of your time or learn more about OA, then I highly recommend you check out the link down below to visit oaalphas.com and start receiving those profitable leads every single day. Thank you, OA Alphas, for sponsoring this episode. So yeah, leads list, great when you're starting out, but at some point you will want to kind of transition it to going the VA route. Now, once you are on these leads lists, go ahead, Cisco.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's okay if you don't ever transition out of leads lists, because there's a bunch of people that still do Amazon FBA and FBM as a true pure side hustle to add some extra income to their bank account.
And
right, so you might have that 9 to 5.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I know someone pumping over 400 grand a month just off a leads list. So you don't have to graduate from them. That's just my take on it. And yeah, 400 grand a month off leads list. Crazy numbers.
I wonder who that is.
Maybe we'll get him on the podcast. Stay tuned.
Maybe we'll get him on the podcast for the first time, or
hey,
is this a recurring guest?
Can't say.
Hey, you already said it to him.
I got a question.
You used his pronouns.
What's up, Josh?
I don't know anything about leads lists, but I know that they can help me find stuff. How the heck do I even find a lead list? Where do I go? Who do I talk to?
All right. So first thing you're going to want to do is go to oaalphas.com.
That's my guy. Shameless plug.
You got to do it.
All right.
So there's a few.
But on the only one?
No. There's a lot of different lead companies out there. I am one of them. But there's a few different ones that I recommend, and then Cisco would love to hear your recommendations too. But so
what you're saying is I can just Google leads lists.
Don't Google leads lists because you're gonna get the ones that are at the top that are absolute garbage. Listen to my recommendations and then go check them out. So you got OA Alphas, which is mine, OA Hunt, and OA Leads Pro. These are 3 top tier leads lists. OA Hunt is really good because they offer a wide variety of options. They have lists that start at $29 a month, go all the way up to $400 a month, depending on what you're looking for, how often you want the leads, what kind of leads you want. OA Leads Pro also has a few different pricing options. I think they're all around the $300 a month range though. And then OA Alphas, mine were all $329 a month, and we're all capped at only 10 subscribers. So we keep your competition low, and we kind of have that fixed rate option.
What do you mean 10 subscribers in a cap? What are you talking about there?
Good question. So that's how many other people are on the list. So if it's capped at 10, then we're sending the leads out to 10 people every day. Some leads lists, they'll be really cheap, maybe like $100 a month, 99, but they're going to be sending them out to 40 people. So you're going to be competing with 40 other people on these leads every day.
Oh.
Yeah. And one thing I think we forgot to touch on, I think we jumped straight into talking about your traditional leads list, Monday through Friday, X, Y, and Z. But there are people that do put out just random lists throughout the year. For example, we've seen Phil does Amazon. Push out a random list. Shout out Phil. He needs to come back for a fourth time. But he's put out a random leads list just randomly because he's had too many leads that he can't get to, right? And I've bought in one of those, and he does them for cheap because obviously that's not the priority of his business. That's not what he mainly does, and he puts it out for I think like $25, and it was one of the best lists I've ever had.
Yeah.
And then recently we had Nikki on the podcast, and she also promotes another leads list that's basically the same thing. They'll put out maybe one list every like 2 weeks or something, and it's kind of capped, as we were just talking about, like 20 sellers, but it's a list of maybe like 50 to 100 different ASINs that you could be sourcing.
Yeah, and one-time lists are a really good way to give a trial run to companies. So if you're interested in a company subscription, get on one of their one-time lists first, so that way you're just getting 1 day of leads, you're just paying one fixed rate, and you don't have to commit to a whole month.
And what you're saying with the subscriptions is, so I pay a monthly subscription, and then how often do I get these leads, and how many leads lists do I get?
Typically, Monday through Friday, you get leads. It'll tell you how many leads you're going to get and how often, but typically it's Monday through Friday.
And everyone gives you a criteria of what type of leads you're going to get. And there's usually some sort of like customer support. And to like touch back on, which leads lists you should sign up for, talk to your best friend in the game. See what lists they've been on prior. Take that recommendation to heart, because if they're truly your friend, they're going to give an honest recommendation. If you're listening to us, we're going to assume you trust in us, and that's why you're listening to the podcast. So yes, I do believe Alpha leads lists is probably one of the best ones.
OAAlphas.com.
But as he mentioned, there you go. And but no, there's another one that I really like from another guest that we had, Dave. He does OA deals.
Yeah.
That's also a pretty good one.
OA deals. So Logan, how did you first get in touch with leads lists? How'd you find out about them, and how'd you get on your first leads?
Yeah, so actually our last guest that we had, Cody, I joined his Discord group, and they were kind of talking about online arbitrage, and I decided to make that leap. They had someone come in and talk to us about leads lists, so I was like, all right, this is something that I need to try out. So yeah, it was a Discord group. One of our other guests, he kind of introduced them to me, and they were great for my transition into online arbitrage.
So Discord groups are a good place to find out about them as well.
Well, that group just taught me a lot, and that was one of the topics that they discussed. Talking to anyone, you're going to learn about things and figuring out which companies are good and which ones aren't.
Yeah, recommendations. And you could also join like different discords. If you join like their premium versions, they say they'll give you X amount of leads daily or whatever.
Yeah, and then they get tanked into oblivion.
But just
the next
find
day.
someone you trust. That's true.
So
Big facts.
you mentioned that people are using leads lists wrong, and I'm new to leads lists. So I'm gonna buy a leads list. I'm gonna get on there. There's gonna be, let's say, like 10 leads of stuff, and I'm just gonna go buy all those 10 leads, and then I just wait the next day to get my 10 more things to go buy. Is that how it works?
No. That's what a lot of people do, and a lot of people are doing it wrong. There's nothing wrong on a low capped list with buying the leads that come out, but you shouldn't stop there. So you can buy those leads. That's great, but that's just a starting point. Let's say OA Alphas provides you a lead where it's a Target toy that's buy two get one free, and we give you one, maybe two of those leads. All right, that tells me that I can buy these toys, but it also tells me that Target has a buy two get one free toy sale. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to look at all the toys on Target that are buy two get one free, and I'm going to find 10, 15 more leads on my own. So the leads list told me that there's a sale going on that I'm then going to go and source. It also tells me all these different sites that I can go and source. Maybe I've never heard of MAC Cosmetics or Ulta Beauty. And now I know that this site exists, and now I know that I can go and check for sales. Now I know I can go and just use that as another reputable source for getting my inventory. I'm also going to be the person to go back to my old leads, right? So if I'm on a subscription list for 5-6 months and I'm buying the leads every day, cool. But now I'm going to go back to my old list and I'm going to see what is still profitable that everybody else has forgotten about. Because everybody else is just buying these leads the same day and then forgetting about them. I'm going to be the person that goes back and replays. I'm going to be the person that goes back and restocks and sees if leads are still good. And one final tip that I have for you, and then I'll stop so Cisco can jump in.
That's it? One more?
Just one more, and then we'll take a break. I've got tons of tips. Maybe there's an item that is on here that's really good, and it can be a rabbit trail for me to go and see who else is selling this product, who maybe is consistently showing up on these products that then I can go and storefront stock. Few tips from oaalphas.com.
Use leads lists through different variations, right? So Logan was talking about use them to find different sources you wouldn't source at normally. Use it to see what different sales are kind of going on currently, but you can also do different variations, right? Or that same brand and see what else is super popular within that brand. Or if, like, for the longest time, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes were not discontinued, but they were like back ordered just because of shipping delays, right? So then there was a bunch of different cereals that came up that you could sell profitably, and different variations of shoes, right? So if there's a specific shoe that's on this leads list that, they say size 8 is profitable, look at size 9, look at size 10, look at size 10 wide, etc., and different colors. There's a bunch of different things you can do. As Logan said, you can use it as a rabbit trail to find other profitable leads, not just the exact same ones that are on that list. And you could find some random things that you never thought you would ever run into. For example, Logan and I have talked countless times about a 9 ASIN story.
Crazy.
We found that 9 ASIN from a leads list, and then from there it taught us to a rabbit trail of trying to figure out how to get ungated. The rest was kind of history for our stores. And it was very fruitful for a while.
Good times.
It was fruitful till it wasn't.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Well, who knows?
One day.
So
it's not summer yet. So
I know that this is going to vary greatly on how big of or how small of a seller you are, but just in general, can you have too many? Can you have too few leads? Like, is 10 leads lists too many to be a part of? Is one too few?
It's really going to boil down to how effectively you use them and how much capital you have to spend. So if you have leftover capital, you're not able to spend your money because of lack of leads, one of two things is happening if you're using leads lists. Either you're simply not on enough leads lists, or you're not deep diving and maximizing the value out of your current leads list. So you either need to figure out a way to use them more effectively or consider getting on more leads lists if you have more capital left over. And then if you have too many leads coming in and you don't have enough capital, then maybe dial it back. You don't need to be on 6 leads lists. Maybe you just need 2.
Yeah. I have a little bit of a different opinion. I don't think you need to be on 6 leads list in general. I think
I also think
unless
that.
you, that's a little extreme. If you're on that many lists and you have enough capital, then you're not using your capital wisely enough or your time wisely
Yep.
enough. You should cut down the lists and figure out how to source properly. Because if you have that many leads lists, you're using it kind of as a crutch at that point, right? And then 2, if you're spending that much money on these leads lists, you would be better suited, or you'd be better off employing those funds and that capital to train a VA team and get your own leads, right? And even if you don't have the time, if that's your crutch, I don't have the time, that's why I'm on these many leads lists. There are services that do provide VA training, and partner up with a friend, partner up with your close friend that you met doing OA, and then share a VA that way. But I think having, for me at least, the max I've ever been as far as leads lists is 3 leads lists at one time.
I was just
So
about to
that's
ask
that
you, like,
was
how
that
many
was
leads
that
lists
was
have
a
you
little.
been on?
At my height, I might
And for
have
me,
been
it
at
was
4,
just a
but I think it was
curiosity.
3.
Yeah, for me, 3 was just because purely curiosity to see what was on these
Yeah.
lists.
And then you cut back from there on, like, oh, I don't like this leads list, I'm gonna unsubscribe from that kind of thing. You do a lot of, like, swapping.
No, from that point, I just sold my soul to Logan and just got OA Alpha lead
OAalphas.com.
list.
Oh, so you're completely OA Alpha right now? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the only leads. I'm in some like Discord groups, but that's the only leads list I subscribe
Oh
to.
wow, okay. And
You
you
can
use them
share me
daily?
as a client, Logan. It's okay. Yeah, no, I would say I use them 5 days out of the week,
Nice.
excluding Filipino holidays.
We got the
Of course.
alternate schedule coming up soon, though. Turkey 5.
But yeah, I was about to say that the great thing about leads lists, though, because obviously in the U.S. we celebrate Thanksgiving, they don't exactly celebrate that in the Philippines. Therefore, a lot of
We're
times
still
they are
putting out
still
leads on
pushing out
Thanksgiving.
leads lists. Boom,
And that's when we need them most.
Yeah.
100%.
We're putting out leads Turkey 5, Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday.
And those
And
are going to be
beyond.
some. Are those going to be a little bit longer lists, or they're just going to be gold mines pretty
Same
much?
amount. They're just going to be gold mines and really good starting points for our clients.
Right.
As a Logan, as a leads list founder, owner of your own leads list, what is something that you would say you could give back in reassurance to anybody who wants to sign up for a leads list, someone who is selling them and is an active seller? How can they feel confident to, know that those are still going to be really good, profitable leads?
Well, I mean, the main thing that I feel sets us apart is the low subscriber count, and that's what I recommend people look towards. If the founder of the leads list is also a seller, which happens most of the time, a lot of the companies that I'm thinking of that come to my mind, this is the same situation, and that's just one more seller. So it's really not a big deal, even if those people are getting in the leads, which a lot of times founders stay off. If they are, it's just one more seller. So on a low subscriber cap, it's not that big of a difference. Yeah, there's really no concerns with it that come to my mind.
Yeah. The only thing I could say is if you trust someone in the space, you would trust that they're doing right by you.
Yeah.
And anything that you've ever seen on Logan as far as like social media and what he shared has always been top character.
You're very kind, sir.
Nah, sometimes. Cheers.
Gambe.
And just like that, it's time for the Spitfire questions. Who's taking it?
This goes.
Ooh, Josh. Looks like Josh
All
is
right.
getting it.
It's my first time ever.
All right.
I'm super excited.
All right, you ready? What's a better holiday, Thanksgiving or Halloween?
Thanksgiving.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. What would you prefer to do? Watch the Macy parade or play football?
Play football.
All right. All right. What's the first app you open up in the morning?
Instagram.
Red or blue?
Red.
Reality
Let's do it,
TV
baby.
or Netflix? And
Netflix.
chill. Without the chill.
What? No, it's November. Please no.
Stormy?
Stormy or what?
Good night,
Spitfire, right?
folks.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Peace.
See you in the next one.
That was decent.